Welcome to Fuel for Life with me, Cindi Stickle, creating your healthy lifestyle with ease. This podcast explores nutrition and how it affects your mental and physical well-being, and it is including tips on how you can create the lifestyle you and your family deserve. Are you ready to learn how you and your family can be healthier, happier, and living your best life? Then you are in the right place. Hey everyone, welcome back. I want to talk about today is creating your meal planning system. I just ran a 5-day challenge in my Facebook group. And what I want to do is recap all 5 days here. For those of you that aren't members of my Facebook group or just want to listen to it again all in one place instead of listening to 5 different videos. So, day 1, the first step that you want to work on is choosing your cooking schedule so that you know what days and how often you'll be cooking each week. This is really important because if you don't set a schedule of what days you want to cook, you're just going to be going, well, I'll just cook today and then I'll cook, in a few days, or you may end up cooking every day, and that defeats the purpose of coming up with a system. So by picking 1 or 2 days during the week, like I cook a lot on Sundays. I work Monday to Friday, and I go grocery shopping on Sunday mornings. So I cook on Sunday. Sometimes I will cook during the week, but most of the time it's just if I run out of quinoa or need something else that's not very time consuming. I will go grocery shopping on Sunday morning, and then I will come back and I'll put my stuff away, and I cook my sweet potatoes in my air fryer. And what I do is I chop them all up by hand. And so that's what I do on Sundays is that. And then as soon as that's done, I make the homemade turkey meatballs for my husband. And then I cook those. So usually within about 2 to 3 hours, I'm done cooking both of those. And the meatballs are usually a double recipe, so we can freeze half of them. But creating your schedule is going to keep you cooking regularly. If your schedule is jam-packed and you feel like you don't have enough time to cook, or you struggle with meal planning, then writing down what day of the week you're going to cook will help you stick to that schedule. It'll also help you eat healthier too, because you won't be eating out as much. So focus on what days, 2 days that you can cook during the week. Okay, so like I said, I do weekends, but I also will cook something if I need to midweek. Some people will also, if they want to do more fresh cooking, they'll prepare all their food. Like if you plan to stir fry 1 week or 1 day during the week, you can have it all chopped up and ready to go in your fridge. And then that way all you have to do is come home from work and cook it. And then this way too, if you're cooking just a couple meals on Sunday, then you have meals throughout the week. You can have leftovers. You could always freeze. If you cook extra, you could always freeze extra, because we're going to talk about having an emergency meal. But batch cooking on the weekends is something that a lot of people do. And then you can reheat it during the week or create your leftovers. Like you can have cook 2 or 3 different meals, have that throughout the week, and then all of a sudden it's leftover night and you can pick from whatever you want. But you pick something that works best for you and stick to that for a while. You can change it if, it's not working out, but the only way to make a new habit is to just stick to that day for at least about a month, because 21 days forms a new habit. So we want to try it for at least 4 weeks before we change it to make sure that it's really working for us. So the first thing that everyone did was choose the cooking schedule so that you know what days of the week you want to cook and that work for you. So then the next step would be rotating your recipes. So we all have our favorite group of recipes that we like to use, and we could go back to more often than anything else. So finding a rotating schedule of meals is key to not getting bored, okay? So they're not cooking the same meals all the time, every week, and it keeps it interesting. And then you'll stick to this habit too, because it won't be like, oh, I don't want to eat this again, so I'm just going to stop doing it, okay? So your meal planning schedule needs to work for you, and that also includes enjoying the meals that you make. You won't be able to stick with something long term if you aren't enjoying it. And who wants to eat meals that you don't enjoy? I know I don't, and I'm sure you feel the same. However, eating the same food repeatedly can quickly get boring, and this step is how we alleviate that dilemma from ever arising. So we will create a list of your favorite easy recipes and rotate them throughout the weeks. Then when you have more time, you can try some new recipes to add to the mix as well. So one way that some people do this is to create a Pinterest board in Pinterest to just throw your recipes in. Or if you have cookbooks, or print them off the internet and keep them in a binder, that works too. Whichever system works for you. If you're just looking for some, pinning them to your board is the first step, and you can always go back and print them out if you need to. But compile as many recipes as you can find so you have a large bank to choose from, and you can rotate the recipes in a way where you aren't overlapping too often. This will help you stay excited about your meals and will keep your family happy too. So if you find about 30 recipes, but you only cook maybe 3 a week, that is 10 weeks worth of recipes. So you have 2.5 months worth of recipes before you even start repeating them. So the more you have, the more variety that you'll have in your meal plan, and you won't get as bored. Okay. So step 2 was to compile the large bank of recipes so that you can plan them out on your meal planner. And I will be attaching a file in here for the meal planner I created so that everyone has a copy of it. So then the next step 3, is groceries. We all know how much we love to go shopping. So sometimes the most challenging part about meal planning is compiling your shopping list and finding time to get to the grocery store. So we're going to pick a day of the week for grocery shopping, and you're going to learn to be prepared. Like I said, I always go grocery shopping Sunday mornings at 7 in the morning when the store opens. If there's nobody in there, I can get it done, and then that gives me plenty of time to start prepping that day. And if I know I'm going to be camping that weekend or something, I will go another day to do it, but I always try and go when the store first opens. So lists are your best friends when it comes to planning anything. Choose the handful of recipes that you would like to make for the week that you've already written out in your meal planner, and write down the list of groceries you need. This will not only save you time at the grocery store, but it will ensure that you have everything you need to make your meals. You don't want to be caught off guard halfway through your busy week realizing you don't have what's needed for dinner. Because then that plan just goes out the window, and then you end up eating something completely unhealthy. So to help your grocery run be even more efficient, you could separate your list into categories of the grocery store. This allows you to know precisely what things you need to grab in each section of the grocery store, and can cut down on your grocery run quite a bit. I use an app for iPhones that's Grocery Gadget, and it lets you put them on by aisle, and you can rearrange those aisles for the store. So if you shop in 2 different stores, you can rearrange it exactly how each store is laid out. One for Android I looked up was, I forget. It was a really good one, but the one I use is only for iPhones, but I'll list that too in the notes area of this episode. So if you live in an area with grocery delivery, which after COVID, a lot of stores are still doing delivery, this is the best option to save the most amount of time and energy. You compile your grocery list and let someone else do the shopping. Unless you're like me, where I don't want people picking out my produce. I like to do that myself. And I don't like substitutions that are not healthy. But if that works for you and it helps you stick to your new habit, then do that for sure. So step 3 is to plan what day you will grocery shop and make it a weekly habit. Do it all the time. Every week, go at the same time. Because in that way, you're going to start easing into the meal planning system without even thinking about it. All right, so the next step is getting your pantry prepared. And this can be overwhelming for some people. So having a well-stocked kitchen will help you tremendously with your meal planning. No matter what meals you choose to make or whether you have time to grocery shop that week, there should always be some staple food items in your house. Staple ingredients are going to be the ingredients you use the most often. These ingredients are used in multiple recipes. They store well in your pantry, fridge, or freezer and can help you create your meals of choice each week. Now, these ingredients will be different for everyone, but some of the typical staple ingredients can include rice, quinoa, frozen chicken breasts, frozen veggies, canned beans, etc. You'll also want to include condiments, oils, and herbs and spices in this category. I don't have a lot of canned stuff because I avoid the BPAs that are in cans, but I'm always have frozen veggies in my freezer. I have the 1 gallon mason jars full of dried beans because I cook them myself and then freeze them. So I always have a lot of beans on hand. I have quinoa. Being a vegan, I eat quinoa all the time. I do have my lighter brown rice. It's not completely brown rice, but it's not white rice too, because I avoid all the white sugars and flours. But I have those in my pantry all the time. And having different condiments and spices can help you change the same foods into different flavors as well. Just like chicken, you cook it one time with curry, you can cook it another time with barbecue sauce. It's still chicken, but it tastes different. And so this also helps make meal planning a lot less work because you only have to prepare a few ingredients for the week. And another tip that I'll pass on is keeping an emergency meal in your freezer. This is something that you can heat up in a flash for those nights you run out of time or things don't go quite as planned, or as I say, as life happens. This can keep you from ordering out or running through a drive-through, and just knowing you have it there for whenever you need it will alleviate a lot of stress. So one way you can do that is when you are cooking, you pick your day or two that you're cooking during the week. You can double a recipe and freeze half of it, and there you have your emergency meal where all you have to do is, it's already cooked. All you have to do is heat it up. Thaw it out, heat it up. So let's take a look at your pantry, your fridge, and your freezer today and make a list of staples that you need to add to the grocery list. Okay. And plus you want your emergency meal handy. Okay. And then the last step is theme nights. I know we've all heard of those. Theme nights, Taco Tuesday, Meatless Monday, things like that. So one beneficial thing about creating this, a theme night, is it helps you not have to think about what you're going to plan for that day from your meal, from your recipes that you've saved. So days like Meatless Mondays and Taco Tuesdays make meal planning even easier. Having specific days like these are not only something to look forward to, but they provide you with some consistency so you have one less day to plan for when you're creating your calendar. So yeah, when you're writing everything out, if you're doing Taco Tuesday, bam, all the Tuesdays are done. And you can change up how you eat your tacos. You can change the way that you serve them. You can have hard shells one week, or tortillas, or tostadas, or taco salads, different things. So then all you have to do is make sure you have the ingredients for those days. So some ideas for specific days can include Meatless Monday, Taco Tuesday, Slow Cooker Wednesday, Salad Thursday, Breakfast for Dinner Friday, Sheet pan meal Saturday, which you just have one big sheet pan and you just cook everything, a whole meal in it. Stir fry Sunday, but you can come up with your own brainstorm for things that you would enjoy and put them on your schedule. When you get your calendar, just print out a blank calendar and you can just write it in. And of course, you don't have to keep to the schedule, but having a starting point will help you be well on your way to figuring out your perfect meal planning system that works perfectly for you. And you can go one step further and create a different Pinterest board for each theme. So when you're saving recipes and pinning them, you have your meatless ones, tacos, slow cooker, stir fry, whatever you pick. Okay. So figure out your daily themes, create your list, put them on your schedule, and then organize recipes for each theme so that you easily rotate through the ideas and you're not, again, having the same thing, slow cooker. Oh, it's the same stew every week. No. Find different recipes and then you can substitute that in so you have a lot of variety. Okay. I hope that you found this helpful. I will be putting some attachments in this episode that you can download. Again, you can go to my Facebook group if you're already a member and watch the lives. I also have it on my YouTube channel. And if you have any questions, just let me know. See you next time.